Hello guys, welcome to Knowledge India. This is uh, our weekly live session. As we have, please let me know how many of you are able to hear me. How many of you are already there? If you have joined, hi. How are things going? Lucky has joined. Hi, Lucky. Others, please let me know. Anil, hi Anil. Are you joining for the first time? I guess so. Hey, hi Rangesh. So I've just started a few minutes sooner so that we can get started quickly. It is 9:29 here at India, and we'll give 2-3 more minutes, and after that we'll get started. I have received a lot of questions recently, and I've tried to answer all of them except the one which Rangesh had sent. Rangesh always sends a set of questions, and many of the times I take his questions and I write a blog post itself. So anyway, we will try to talk about it. There are a few good points there, so we will talk about it. Is everybody getting an echo? Because I'm kind of using the same settings and it from the same place. Others, can you please confirm? Hi Avinash, how are you? Can you please confirm on the sound quality, guys? So Tima Reddy as well. Uh, is there any chance of DevOps training Jenkins? Uh, I will be doing that, Tima, but I'm gonna cover all the associate tracks for AWS, and then I would move to other third-party things. First, the concentration is gonna be more on AWS and related services. Hi, Mohan. Education just ahead. Uh, Hi. That's great. Jay Prakash. Hi, Jay Prakash. Others, can you please check and can you please comment on the sound quality? Rangesh, you might want to, disconnect and join again. Guys, please let us know how is the sound quality. Okay, Lucky says that it is good. Uh, Others, can you please comment on the sound quality, please? So it's 9:32 here. So we will give 2 more minutes and we'll get started. Just 2 more minutes. The Avinash also says that the audio is good. Okay, great. Thank you, Jayaprakash. Yes, Lucky, I need to do that. I will try to talk about CloudWatch some amount in today's session. Okay, we can do that, and then I'll put a video also on that. It just has been a bit busy day. Oh, well, opening at two places, you will not get more knowledge. Okay, great. I think then it should be fine, Rangesh. All right. So just a minute more. Anybody else who has joined just now? Chandan, I'm not sure why is it very poor. Because can you try and change the settings of your video? Others, can you comment on that on audio and video, please? Uh, Anil, I understand that you have joined this session today for the first time. We have been doing a lot of these sessions, for the past many weeks. I would request you to go ahead and look at the replays of some of the previous live sessions. There are two uh, live sessions, one in which I have talked about architecting case study and another where I've talked about sysops case study. So if you look at those case studies, we have as you are saying, we have tried to put together different services and come up with a solution. So you'll have to go ahead and look at it, please. uh, I'll try to take questions, guys, but please wait for a minute, right? I'll try to take one by one as much as possible. I'll try to answer. I also request you that while you ask a question, you have to be specific and elaborate. Anything which is very high level, or if you ask your question at very high level, it would be difficult to answer that. So if you will be objective to it, then it would be easy for me to answer it. Okay, so that's my request to you. With that, let us get started. I hope audio and video check is fine and we are good there. So as it is an open house session, I'll try to take as much as possible questions from you. In addition to that, I also want to, as I have named today's session with AWS, I want to take uh, few things based on my experience, which I have collected or I've learned from all of you, while you people have asked so many questions to me or via direct messages on Quora, so many places. With that, I want to take some of the points which can help people decide that when they are moving to AWS, what their role will be. Now, first of all, guys, we have seen uh, that with the change of scenario which is happening in the current IT industry, people are getting rid of their on-premises data centers, right? So instead of that, uh, people want to move to cloud. Now, which particular cloud it would be, that depends on n number of factors, of course. But as of now, if you look at the market reports, AWS has the biggest market share. It's because of the rate at which AWS has been innovating, bringing a lot of services and capabilities very fast. That actually kind of makes them more stable, and they have more market share. Now, uh, it comes to making career with AWS for all the IT professionals or different people like us, we need to understand that we need to consider few facts, right? Now it's not like that. I mean, anybody who thinks that we can go ahead and just pick up AWS in like 1 2 months and it would be a completely new career. It doesn't work that way. Though AWS is giving you a new platform where now you are hosting your and there are a lot of managed services also in place. Some of the basic some of the basic T remain the same, right? So if you are there in this industry, it is very important that that you should be knowing when you say basic, what do, if you might ask that with basic what do you mean? With basic I mean that you should be knowing that how a web application works, what are the different layers of an application, what are the different types of databases which exist. For example, what is OLAP, what is OLTP, what is in-memory database, when should we go ahead and use that. A very small amount of OS administration, which means you should know that how the firewall in the operating system works. You should know that how user administration, how the file system works in an operating system, at least either in Windows or Unix or Linux. If you know in both, it is really good. In addition to that, you should know the basic mechanism of databases, right? So when I say basic mechanisms, you should understand that uh, the different types of relational databases or non-relational databases, how do they work, what about its backup, recovery, restoring a database, all these concepts of schema, users, right? I mean, you need not go and learn these concepts specifically for all the databases, but if you know and understand and practice a bit, at least on one database, it is going to be helpful, right? Because then you'll be able to understand that what are the different layers of the database, basically the categorization or the boundaries come into picture. So for example, many times people getting confused and asking the question that I have an IAM user. Okay, all right. So with this, whether I'll be able to go ahead and run operations inside RDS MySQL as well, or RDS Oracle as well. Now the point is, no, we need to understand IAM user is there for surface level operations, whereas RDS or a database, it is an application. In order to operate at that application, you need to have a user which is defined at that DB level, right? So those are few things which I think doesn't matter that from which background you come, you should have those, you should have that understanding. Now comes to the point. Now coming to the next point is that out of different tracks, which one we should pick up. I'm not going to repeat and waste time on that. I have detailed two tutorials where I have explained the different tracks, and based on the type of work which you are doing, you can go ahead and choose one out of the three, which are solution architect, sysops, and developer. And I've also explained that what all is common between them if you're preparing for certification, what all services are common, and what all are different between the three. Now, sometimes some of the new guys, our young fellows who are just joining the industry, or probably are like less than 3 years of experience, they are super excited with the whole AWS thing which they are hearing, and they want to get started and build a career on AWS. So it is really good that guys, you people are trying to learn this, but just AWS alone will not take you somewhere. You need to learn, as I was saying, few other things, the basics of computing, right? Your operating system or database, or your web applications, web server applications. You should spend some time on those things as well. That's where you do that, and along with that, if you learn AWS, it is gonna be really helpful. If somebody who is totally new asks me that from where do we get started, I'm totally new, I don't know anything on AWS, from where do we get started? My suggestion would be, look at the tutorial where I've explained the associate certification syllabus, and in that I've explained the common services across all the three associate exams. Start with those services. Go ahead and start with VPC, EC2, EBS, then come to S3, learn ELB, auto scaling, CloudWatch, and then you can keep moving forward. Learn IAM, and then further you can go ahead. So that's how you should try and do. There are few people who are there in the stream of testing. Now they ask me that what do I do if I'm there in testing? How do I come and get benefited from AWS? So understand, guys, it cannot directly map that. Doesn't matter from in which domain or what type of work you are doing. You Everybody cannot just come and start doing AWS alone, right? It will not work that way. Rather, the future is gonna be in such a manner that your primary role or primary work will be there, but cloud will come inside that. Let's take an example of a tester. So the way he was doing, continue to do the testing, but in addition to that, slowly as time passes, he will get the responsibility of probably executing few scripts and tasks or parameterizing and automating few things so that the test environment comes up only when the testing needs to be done, right? And that he will be able to do with the help of CloudFormation. Anywhere, anything you're doing, you need to look at automation, and you'll have to try and learn cloud in that manner. Of course, some of you, depending on your background and experience, might become just full-time AWS architects. Some of you might remain system administrators, but now you will start doing the administration on AWS. Some of you will start using a different AWS services, and hence you will learn its SDK, and you will be writing code in Java, .NET, or PHP using that. But some more of you who are there in few other fields, you will continue to do your job, but you need to know AWS or any other cloud platform, because this is inevitable. This is going to come in your line of work going forward. So that's my suggestion, quickly, which I wanted to share with all of you. And after that, I hope this is clear, this makes some sense. If you have any question on what I talked now, you can ask. After that, we will take other questions as you people have. Hi, Stephen. Charles, how are you? Hi, Sachin. Guys, if you have any question on whatever we talked till now, you can ask that, or else we'll go ahead and start taking the questions. Before that, there are a few questions which are pending. So, of course, I'll go ahead and write it, but we can discuss about that as well. So I'm displaying it on the screen. These are the questions which Rangesh had written, and I thought it would be good to talk about it and explain to all of you. All right, so I'll go ahead and get started with it. So number one is, for Elasticache to be used, we definitely need either RDS or DynamoDB. Elasticache has to be complemented with a database, right? Okay. First, one important thing, and many people have done this mistake. So I'm just pointing out, guys. It is Elasticache, not Elasticache. So please, I've seen this multiple times. So please take care whenever you're writing for the next time. So, okay. So question is whether Elasticache always has to be a base, or how should it be used? So Elasticache is an in-memory database. So our normal databases, relational databases like Oracle, MySQL, etc., they actually store the data on the disk, disk or magnetic disk or the solid state disk, but it stores on the disk, not in the memory, not in the RAM. So from the relational databases always would be comparatively slower. Uh, in case of Elasticache, so they act as cache, right? So you typically keep them between your application server and your database server. Now, let me give you an example and try to explain you how will you use this. Let's say you have a website where uh, you are displaying various attributes of a mobile phone. There is a sale going on, and some cell phone which is really hot, which is getting sold. That particular thing is there. So many people are visiting that page, let's say, right? It's details page, so you need to pick all the attributes of that particular cell phone from your database, and you need to show it on the page. Now if 1 million people who are actually checking the specification of that particular cell phone, if you try to execute your query 1 million times from on the relational database, that is going to be really unnecessarily costly. So instead of that, what you do is that data once from the relational database, and after that into Elasticache. And every time the next request comes, you will find that that data is present in the Elasticache, and you will just get the data from there. So that's how it works. So typically you implement it, or you put an Elasticache along with along with RD. It could be RDS or it could be your own database. But understand that uh, it's basically your responsibility to cache and get the things from Elasticache. It's not like that you just put it between your Debian application and things are getting cached. It doesn't happen that way. As part of your application, you need to decide and choose that what things you will keep in the Elasticache. Number two is Elasticache. Memcache and Redis, are they different in DB architecture than the regular RDS and DynamoDB? Yeah, they are kind of key value pair types of databases, and hence, of course, it is different from RDS for sure. Though DynamoDB again is like key value pair. It also supports document structure though. Next question is, let me see, there are a few things coming on the right. Covers everything. This is this. I need on the following questions. Okay. So guys, I'll just come to the questions which you are writing on the right hand side. I'll just finish the questions which are there on the screen, and then I'll come and take things on the right hand side. Okay. So next, create a cluster of RDS or DynamoDB. Can't we use one of the node in the created cluster for caching? Will they lack performance from the Elasticache? Number three, no, it doesn't work that way. First of all, RDS and services, and hence you will not get an option to go ahead and any of their nodes. So the behavior of RDS or DynamoDB remains the same. That means they'll actually be stored on disk and not in memory. So you need to set up Elasticache separately. Number four is Elasticache almost does the same job like a read replica. No, that's not true. Read replica, we go ahead and use read replica when for all the read type of traffic, but understand that that its performance. Okay, let me put it and explain you this way. You use read replica when you want to, when you don't want to do the read type of traffic on your primary database, and hence you basically take away all the read traffic and put it on another database which we call as read replica. Whereas Elasticache actually comes and sits between your database and your application, and instead of reading again and again, you read once and you cache it. So that's the difference, guys. So typically things which are not gonna change very frequently, but you are reading it again and again, those things you will cache in the Elasticache. Read replica still would be keeping things in its disk, whereas Elasticache keeps things in its memory. So that difference is also there. Number five is Elasticache for OLAP or OLTP. Which one? It is gonna be beneficial for, typically it is gonna be beneficial for OLTP, not for OLAP. For OLAP, you basically run queries which actually run for, and then result comes. So the max function happens on the DB servers. I mean, if you look at the the queries running would be comparatively lesser, but the amount of time which they take or amount of resource which they take, that is going to be very higher. Whereas in case of OLTP, though queries would be comparatively lighter, but the amount of queries which you run, that is going to be a lot. So you typically use Elasticache or in-memory databases in case of OLTP systems. Number 6, so if you put in a VPC, Elasticache would be part of the private subnet, of course best practice, or since it's all cached information which is being stored, is it okay to put it in public? As you said in the first part, it is highly recommended that you keep it in the private subnet. That would be the better approach, Rangesh. Number 7 is I created a Memcache Elasticache but did not know how to connect it with my existing RDA. Should I use the endpoint? So as I was talking some time back, uh, there is actually a detailed tutorial that how you should connect to your Elasticache. But yes, you need to use your endpoint application. You will have to basically write and read the data to the Elasticache. That is how you will do. So if you see architecture wise, in the first step, you will read the data from and if you want to cache that data, you will write it to your RDS. Now when the second request comes, if that request is requesting the same data which you have cached, you will not go to RDS, rather you will just read it from the Elasticache. But this entire part you will have to build in your application. It just doesn't come automatically because it does. All right, so those were the questions. Now to right hand side. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's go here one by one. So we have Kadir Vale. I suppose you have joined here for the first time. Basic skills required to get AWS training. There are no such basic skills. All if you know the normal stuff, things like some amount of DB administration, some amount of database. That is just enough, Kadir. So I request you to go and get started with our sysops playlist, and that will give you, in the right order, it will give you the things. So on the channel, you have a playlist for sysops. Please start with that. Next is Rangesh is asking, AWS is vast, it covers everything, DB, networking, OS, etc. I need your input on the so number one, I'll come to Dilip's question in a minute. So just learn all the technologies, just to know how of everything and choose working and master it. Is that a good choice? Rangesh, so know all the services and then come and start doing those things on AWS. That is gonna be thing, right? There is mastering one service. Not target and become master in one thing. You all things, and then naturally something which interests more, you go deeper into that particular thing, but you don't plan and do that thing, do one particular thing specifically. So my suggestion is going to be know all of the things basics, as I said, and then come and try to do those things in AWS, and it will make sense. Dilip has asked, what are the software development languages needed to learn to become cloud engineer? Actually, this has been a question which many people have asked. Guys, you don't need to learn any specific programming language. I mean, there is no specific thing that you should learn. If you know any one of the programming languages, it could be Java, it could be Python, it could be C# or .NET, right? Any of those which AWS for which AWS SDK is available. There are around 10 languages or so. You can learn any one out of those languages if you want to be doing automation. So if you learn any one out of that, it is just enough. From automation perspective, it is going to be enough. Also, on the other hand, those who are good with shell scripting or basically on Windows platform, that also is just good enough, because you have in Linux and Windows, you have commands available for. So if you know shell scripting, you can just go ahead and write anything which you there as well. So I think that should answer your question. You're asking, do we must have in-depth knowledge of all the services which comes under the organization, or there is a certain limit? Okay, Ankush, the way it works is, in case of sysops, the number of services which come in the certification are actually lesser in number, but the depth is a lot more in case of sysops. So my suggestion would be, if you look at the at that particular tutorial where I've explained the syllabus, the services which are there, which appear in the sysops track, they are comparatively less in number than solution architect. But but in case of sysops admin, the questions are going to be more practical or more situation based. So I would recommend that for those number of services, we should do hands on, we should read complete FAQ, and we should try to be really hands on. That would be my suggestion. Whereas in case of solution architect exam, and you would see also that we have now 30,000 plus solution architects already, thanks to Mr. Ryan Cronenberg Guru, which has been producing a lot of solution architects. Doesn't matter. I mean, it is bit how much of work they have done, and then they got certified. But the certified, so it's okay. But guys, my suggestion would, don't just run behind certification and just trying to get 30,000 already there, and all of you can guess that there from India a lot. So very soon it is gonna flooded with certified people. So that is not just gonna it is not gonna get you the light. The actual work which you have done, if somebody asks you the question and if you are able to explain and you are able to reason things, that is what will get you to the higher place. So that's my suggestion, right? Okay, so Ankaj, my suggestion there is to try and go deeper in case of sysops one. Also, the services which are covered in the sysops exam, they are the foundational services of AWS. If you learn them properly and if you have understood them properly, you will find that it is going to be really really helpful, right? Because those are the building blocks of AWS actually. So if you have learned that properly, it is surely going to help you always. Next one from Rangesh is, one thing I observed was, even without much of networking database background, though I knew the basics, was able to grasp the concepts easily. Yes, correct. So that's one good thing. And when I was telling some time back, uh, my my expectation or my suggestion to all of you is just that only. It should not happen that if somewhere somebody is talking about database user, database schema, or any when come, you should not be like that you don't know those concepts at all. So my suggestion was that you should try and read a small amount of that. The way AWS services have been implemented, it things lot easier, and the documentation is great. On internet. So trying to learn it in a systematic manner, as Rangesh you said now, you will find it very systematic. Trust me, guys, all of you who are learning AWS, if you just want to believe one line from me, believe this: if you try to do jumping and just learning a few concepts here there, it is never gonna get uh, what I want to say is, you will never be able to visualize it in your mind. My suggestion is, try and learn things systematically. Uh, it is perfectly fine if you spend 2 weeks only on EC2. Trust me, because EC2 is actually that big. It has that many concepts. So it makes sense that you go ahead and try and understand each and every attribute which comes below. When you go ahead and select an EC2 at the top, below you see so many attributes, around 20-25 attributes. It makes sense that you go ahead and spend time and read about those attributes. Only when you do that way, when somebody asks you a tricky question later on, be able to answer that, guys. Or else, if it is just some video where somebody has talked about few FAQs and you clear the certification, then it is not going to help much news. Okay, moving on. Sank, how do we trigger cloud formation templates without what all different ways we can trigger run cloud formation templates? So apart from console, you can also execute it APIs or via CLI. So there is a command available which you can execute also via API. So it doesn't matter. You can write your program in Java, .NET, any language, and from there also you can trigger the cloud formation templates. Please check those APIs and commands. It is available, very easy to find. Manikant Reddy is asking, I'm planning to learn vSphere 6 to get some hands-on AWS. Will it be helpful to learn AWS? Uh, I'm sorry, but I'm not a VMware guy. Uh, so your choice to learn on VMware related stuff, I would not be able to comment on that. Uh, Anything to learn on AWS, if you are getting started, I would suggest that please follow the playlist which is there for sysops, Manikant. Rangesh is asking, my question here is, without being a network engineer or not much of Cisco Juniper architecture experience, can I take networking specialty and excel? Um, Actually, yes, because of the reason, Rangesh, and this is really important, the way AWS is implementing networks is kind of very much um, abstracted, I should say. So, as you people would have seen, create VPC subnets and everything, so quickly you are able to do and network work smooth. But implementing similar on premises, it would have been a lot more difficult. But my suggestion would be yes, you can do that, and I think there is an additional certificate now on the networking part which you can take and do later on. So answer is yes, you can do that. Vikramjeet is saying, please try to cover CloudWatch. Yeah, so I'll talk about CloudWatch just in a while, and of course, okay, let us just do it in the order. So quickly guys, about CloudWatch, I'll try to put a video, of course, in detail for that. But as all of you would have seen here and there, CloudWatch is a wonderful service because it monitors the different metrics related to other AWS services. For example, if you create an EC2 instance, you might be interested that how's the CPU utilization, how is the disk write, network in, network out, how is it performing. You would be interested in that. Now, you need not go to any other third party thing. CloudWatch can just keep monitoring this for you. Okay, so when you create an EC2 instance, basic CloudWatch monitoring would be enabled on that, which records these metrics at 5 minutes. If you want, you can also go ahead and enable detailed monitoring, and after doing that, it will start recording at 1 minute frequency, though there's a charge for detailed monitoring. Now, in case of EC2 instance, because AWS never enters the OS level EC2 instances, it just collects or it shows metrics which are possible to be collected supervisor level. So only those things would be shown. That's why you see is not being shown. Hello, guys, are you able to hear me now? Hello, guys. Is it okay? I suppose it was audible now. I'm really sorry. I don't know where did we lose it. Can any of you please type that till what you were able to listen? Can you please type and let me know? I'm really sorry. Looks like a glitch. The uh, here is a bit. Can somebody tell me question till which question you people had or you okay? Cloud Watch. Okay. All right. Um, great. So I see many people who are new also today. So if you wanna write a line about yourself and if you want to introduce yourself to everybody, please do that. Okay, so I suppose I was talking about CloudWatch and I actually talked a lot about CloudWatch and I think all of that got cut. So not to worry, I will move forward and I will be putting a detailed video on CloudWatch which you all can see. So I'll try to answer other questions as of now. So I answered Dilip's question. Karthik, if you can specifically type your experience, I can tell you the track, but you would not be considered fresher. That's the answer. Dilip, I got solution architect certificate. Helped a lot with AWS certificate and Linux admin skills. How easy it's to get job on AWS? Okay, so first thing, it's a request, guys. With open mouth, of course. If you are from my videos, all I ask is some testimonials. If you can write some testimonials, that is going to help me. It is going to keep some amount of motivation for me. So I would request you can write about that on the Facebook page, or you can tag my page and share things right on your own wall. You can write on LinkedIn. If you search, I'm there on LinkedIn as well. If you'll search for Knowledge India, you'll get it, or I can put the description or I can put the link in this video. You'll find the link. So I request you, please write about it. If this is helping you, please write about it on different channels so that people get to know about it. The answer to Dilip's question is with Linux, trust me, with AWS certification, and I would also say the working knowledge on AWS. With that and Linux administration, you can get job quite easily. But for the admin track, Dilip, my suggestion would be to surely do SysOps certification for sure. Then your combination of Linux administration and SysOps admin certification would actually work better. You have done solution architect, that's great, but my suggestion would be to complete SysOps for sure. Chitranjali, the questions on developer certification are theoretical, include scripting, command questions, or some programming stuff too. Okay, good question. no, you would not be asked to write any script or it is they are just gonna test your understanding of that's all. It would be very rarely one two questions you might find, one two in you might find where they ask about one particular error or one particular APIs, and that too only from the DynamoDB. So if you have run through the FAQ of DynamoDB, I think that is just going to be enough. Thank you, Ankaj. Thank you, Vikramjit, Dilip, and more of becoming a AWS solution architect. I want to get towards development, automation in AWS Framework Console. So, what additional skills I need to have to get there? So, Dilip, answer is that you should the try and learn uh, you know scripting. So it could be shell scripting, and you should know different commands. So if you do things from console, it is going to be all clicks, and it is not automation. Rather, if you start doing things via command, you can of course script it and automate the stuff. So I would suggest learn learn those things and try to achieve your day-to-day administration operations via scripts. That is how you automate stuff. Raghu Kota, my question is, we now have many cloud providers. How much difference from other cloud analytics? Oh, that's a long topic, guys. Um, not sure if I can cover here. See, every cloud provider has got their own specialties. Some services are better than the others, but ultimate selling is based on multiple factors. Depends which client or which customer has more relationship with which company, who is able to give them better discount, who is able to give them that particular scenario or that particular project needs. That selling happens. But yeah, if you look at the and the overall maturity of services, AWS is leading the but Azure also has some of some really good services in place. We should not say that it is not it is it is very much behind. It is also good, uh, but of course if you compare between AWS and Azure, somewhat more maturity AWS has. Okay, then we have all the disconnected messages. Sorry for all of that. Let me go down. um, okay, so Akilan is asking, I'm networking guy and I'm starting AWS solution architect, and then I would like to go for advanced security. Is it correct path or I need to do something else? That is correct path. It's fine. I think that's okay. Go ahead and do that. It's okay. Okay. So guys, are all of you able to hear properly? I've reached to the last question which is available on the screen, which was there from Akilan. If you're able to hear properly, can you acknowledge, please? And if you have any more questions, please go ahead and ask. I will also request you that while you are watching the session, if you can pick the URL and you can share it on your social platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and this thing with it would help. That's my request. And as if I've requested that it's good. I've seen a lot of good comments uh, in the comment section of YouTube. In addition to that, if you can also go ahead and write on some other social platforms, that will help, guys. So I request you to do that, please. Please spread the word. Uh, the with this particular channel or the this initiative, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do things in a simpler manner for you people. I'm sure there are a lot of training material. There are a lot of people who are doing things online, and you have a lot of things to follow where you can just in a week or 2 weeks you can follow those videos and clear the certification. But I hope that I make some difference too in your learning process. Lucky, I don't think that I would be able to do that, anytime soon, because still there is a lot to do on AWS. So I would be covering or concentrating on AWS. Others, if you have question, it's time to type it now. We have Rangesh without mm, networking is specialty. Okay, Rangesh, yeah, the answer. I think while I answered that, that was the duration when it got between. Answer is yes. You can actually uh, you can actually go ahead and uh, become specific on either on networking on security, but my suggestion would be first just understand different AWS services and then take that path. And surely you don't need to be a great Cisco or Juniper expert in order to do that, because AWS actually abstracts a lot of that. So, and that is the way things are moving going forward. Earlier, most of the vendors had their specific things, and that's why you found a lot of professionals who were specialized with one particular vendor's hardware or software. Nowadays, it's all abstraction layers, and if you understand to play with that abstraction layer, that layer takes care of everything below that, managing below that. Dilip is asking, what's your experience on AWS? Somewhere around 4 or 5 years, roughly, maybe. Uh, okay, thank you, Lucky. Thank you. So I will see that how many do I get on LinkedIn or on Facebook after today's session. Now that I have requested all of you. Those of you who have joined us today for the first time, I request you that we have around 40 plus videos on the channel now. Try and look at the things. Asking me that, can you put a video on RDS, whereas there was a detailed video on RDS already. In the same way, I mean, I do get some of the questions. I will go ahead and answer those, but the only reason why I'm saying this thing is, if you go ahead and search it, you will be able to continue your study at the same time instead of waiting for my reply. Okay, Rangesh, few good words. Is Knowledge India is unique and totally different from other online tutorials. Keep it rocking. My learning curve saw a huge difference after seeing your videos. Thank you, thanks a lot. I hope I'm able to help you. It has been, a bit slow in the last 1 2 weeks, but you are gonna see a lot of things coming in the next 1 2 weeks. So I'm gonna do that way. Um, you're from Citrix background. How is it going for solution architect? Uh, if you have administrator guy Raghu, my suggestion would still be to try ops first. But if you are like I don't know, maybe like 8 plus years of experience, and you have seen of things, then yeah, you can go with solution architect as well. That on one side, most of people are going and doing solution architect because the architect names, sounds really good, right? Would like to be architects. And that's why there are 30,000 plus architects already certified on AWS. But the but the part to understand here is that um, if you just understand that how SQ, for an example, if you just understand that how SQS works as it is explained in some video, and then but you do not really understand that how SQS is used by different developers or in any application, why SQS is used. If that has not been understood, uh, then it will not solve the purpose. So that's why I normally say, though maximum people, I have seen people, and trust me, it is perfectly possible. Even if you have 1 year of experience or less than 1 year of experience, you can go ahead and pass your solution architect exam. That's not difficult. That's not difficult, guys. So um, uh, but the point is, unless until you try and on such things, that why decoupling, why should we do decoupling, where decoupling comes into picture, why is decoupling important, unless until you have understood that, you would not be able to appreciate what SQS does. So that's something which you cannot watch a $20 video from Udemy, why might not be able to do. And it takes time to cover all such things. And I'm actually working on some material to take such examples and explain it in more detail. I will try to mostly in the next I'm gonna take decoupling as the topic, and we will talk about SQS and why decoupling, how it helps, why is it really important, what few other things are there which we should take care in order to do decoupling in our architecture. So we'll try to cover it, with lot of discussion in the next live session. Um, Dilip is asking, what is difference between DevOps and AWS DevOps? DevOps is a practice, Dilip, which came up in the past few years, I would say, where the difference between development team and operations team uh, has reduced, and rather one team itself does both the things. So they develop the code, they write the code, they also do the deployment and promotion of the code, because the whole infrastructure creation, deployment of code, everything can happen with a command now. The services are there in such a manner that you have services for code deployment and for infrastructure creation. So one team itself can do both. So this whole practice where this operations team has come together is called DevOps. And DevOps, there are a lot of open source tools. In the same way, AWS also has implemented its own tools, and which are available to you as managed services. Chitranjali is asking, may I know how options happen and how do I know about it prior? Yes, very important. So while we all are looking at it, let me tell you, this is how you can go ahead and know. So you should go to and you can go to okay, leave that. You should open our blog. So this is our blog, Chitranjali. If you open this blog, on the right hand side, this is there for all the people who are new, joining us for the first time. Please open this, and on the right hand side, you will be able to see in this particular blog, we have our calendar. And this calendar would be updated. It is Google Calendar, and I'm sure all of you have Gmail accounts. I'm sorry. So basically, here it comes up in the upcoming live events. So you can just go ahead, and what you can do, press on this blue color, and then this calendar will get added to your Google Calendar. It not come and sync again and again. Wherever you actually look at your calendar, any new events will start appearing there. You will have the link and everything in that particular invite body. So that's the request all of you to go ahead and add this calendar to your so that you are always updated. Mostly we do live sessions every weekend. It's the best way to know about it. Dilip, you are asking this again. Yeah, so as I told you, I will go ahead and put few more, but in the meanwhile, I would request you to try and complete this one on I'm sure you should be able to see on the left hand side you have practical exercises 001. If you can go ahead and complete that, that would be great. It covers a lot of services, so please try and do that, and then try to do the sysops case study, which is also there on the blog. Do these two, and I will be bringing lot more such exercises very soon. I'll do that. Rangesh is saying, I'm finding cloud formation very difficult. Though the templates are only in JSON, should I learn JSON or some level of basic programming concepts if you could advise? Rangesh, writing cloud formation template from scratch is going to be a bit difficult. So you need not ever write it completely from scratch. Let me tell you how people. So if you go to CloudFormation dashboard, you'll be able to see CloudFormer. Uh, uh, CloudFormer. I think I've explained it in the tutorial as well. So if you go ahead and launch CloudFormer tool, what this tool does is and look at any environment which you say which you have created and it can generate a template out of that environment. Click on this particular generated template and you should go ahead and edit it. In normal scenarios, what people do is the first the first environment setup they do manually, and once it is done, it is all signed off, they use CloudFormer to generate the CloudFormation template out of that particular environment. And once this template is generated, they can go ahead and do any small modifications they want and they can save it. Please try doing that way. That way it would be a lot easier. Writing it from scratch is going to be difficult and it takes a lot of time to actually master that. So if you go from this way, it would be a lot easier and in some time you'll become comfortable. Okay. You can also try. There is a third-party tool called visualops.io, if I'm right. Visualops.io, I think so. This is helpful in writing the templates, or I can search and tell later on as well. I request all of you to please subscribe to our blog. Subscribing to the blog is very easy. On the right, you need to put your email, and then a link goes to your email, and you need to verify that. Many of you did subscribe, but you never verified your email to get the updates. So I request you to kindly subscribe to the answers which I write here, or any new topics which you should be able to get it. Many of the times some of you who are new might that in which order or how we should do. So I try to put the story here. For example, if you look at, let me show you something. Sometime back I wrote about some important things to do with the new. Talked about what is VPC from scratch. If you look at this particular article, it takes you in a very systematic manner that what you should do first, what you should read and understand first, and then how you should go to next things and all. Right. So I highly recommend you guys please subscribe to this blog so that you are updated. Kiran is asking, your videos are more concentrated on practicals, great materials for self-paced learning. Please start a new series on DevOps and tools on DevOps like Jenkins, Ansible, Puppet. Thanks, Kiran, for the appreciation. I will also try to come there, but as I said, I am concentrating more on AWS first, and as I'm able to cover substantially, then I'll be moving to other third-party tools as well. So I'll actually try to cover AWS DevOps services first, and then I'll come to the third-party ones. Thanks for your appreciation. I also request you to write at platforms. Thank you. Thank you, Chitranjali. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please let others know as well. Can you share important AWS and DevOps related books to read? My suggestion would be don't go behind books, because any one particular is not enough or good. Instead of that, try to look at different tutorials. For example, if you want to learn Chef or their website itself gives you the best tutorial. Trust me, which is given on their website is just superb. So I would request always do it that way. And you have a lot of video tutorials also available on YouTube. Try and look at that, Kiran. Okay, Sriram, hi, I'm into QA, having Python knowledge. Good. Please let me know if I can switch to AWS. Is it possible? If so, which path in AWS is better for me? Sriram, so if I understand with QA, uh, you will be doing testing plus you have Python knowledge. Now, see, uh, your Python knowledge or your Python coding knowledge can get utilized in the automation side on AWS. So if you start understanding the SysOps track, I should say, then later on you can further graduate to the DevOps. So you might start with SysOps. You can of course continue to do your testing part, but with SysOps, you will start understanding that how different services on AWS work. And then because you have Python knowledge, you will be able to write scripts and automate the stuff as well. And slowly you can, of course, graduate to the DevOps role. So I think that you should do. Kadir, thank you for support. Thank you, Kadir. Uh, I hope to see you again, in next. All right, guys. So thank you, Kiran. Thank you. I hope if you people have found this useful, please link on your Facebook, Twitter, wherever, Google Plus. Write few words about it. How did you find this useful? Why was it good? And let your friends know. We will try to close this session now here. If you have any questions, of course, you can go ahead and write it in the comment section or write it in the blog. I would suggest it is a lot better there. Sometimes in YouTube comments, it gets kind of bit lost also. So I would suggest that you can either write it on our Facebook page. In the blog, if you see at the top, you have all the links available here, Google Plus, Facebook. I also have written a lot of answers on Quora. So if you want, you can go ahead and read it sometime when you're getting bored. Go ahead and read that. With that, we will try to close the today's session. There are I will be putting a video on CloudWatch, so please do watch that. And there are a few more things which would be coming up in this week. So with that, I will actually go ahead and end this session. Thanks a lot for all your time. Please bring Knowledge India to your friends. So spread it, say the word, tell your friends that there's a channel where they can go ahead and learn things, and help them not to waste money here, there, and rather learn, by understanding it, I would say. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for your time. See you again.